Charlie Fetty. Hello, Mr. Fetty. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I have some questions. Does Pedco own the steel mill?
Once again, Mr. Fetty, in a public forum, we can't answer questions. We don't answer questions, but maybe after you give your commentary, maybe when the counselors go through their commentary, they'll be able to answer what's going on.
Well, will use my time to demonstrate that I'm not getting answers. I have the second question. I'll go ahead and jump into that if there's no further discussion. Is Pedco acting on behalf of any other nation or corporation or institution or city or state besides the city of Pueblo, Colorado? Let the record show nobody has an answer. So the record shows. Third question. Is Pedco trying to steal the steel mill from the Russians and start World War III? Let the record show. My city council cannot tell me any of these things, and Pedco couldn't either. So what's going on? I guess we'll sit in silence and consider it. I convict you, Homo heroes. I convict you. I challenge you. Two and a half minutes to go.
Mr. Fetty, we're not going to just sit here in silence. If you have other things to say,
I have this amount of time, do I not?
You have that amount of time to make
my statement will be in
comments.
silence, and it will demonstrate what's going on here.
You have 2 minutes and 4 seconds to give us your commentary. Otherwise, we'll move on to the
All right.
next.
Okay. Why won't you talk to me about this? Why won't you answer my emails? Why won't you act like I exist? I got 1 minute and 40 seconds. You will give me my time. If you won't act like I exist, then you will give me my time that I legally have. I exist, whether you like it or not. Everybody?
Are you done now?
I have 1 minute left.
No, you don't. If
Yes,
you
I
have
do.
commentary, please give us your
Is this the Home of
commentary.
Heroes or not?
This is the home of heroes. You're absolutely
Well,
right.
thank you for that answer. Now where's the other answers?
As I stated before, in public forum, we will not answer questions. If somebody wants to
You have not
address
answered
it,
my emails. You have not answered me when I've given you hand-delivered letters to you. You act like I do not exist. So I'm not going to exist for 30 more seconds, whether you like it or not.
I appreciate that.
I'm a veteran. I have as much right to be in here as anybody else, and I have a right to be heard. Thank you for giving my time.
Thank you for coming. We now move to council member and mayor commentary. Mayor Graham.
I don't have anything, President Aliff.
Councilor Latino.
Yes, thank you. Sally, thank you. And you're right on, Sally, with everything that you said. And we're working as a community to do the kinds of things that need to be done here. And in terms of Black Hills Energy, I'm going to be very candid. I want them gone. I want them gone. And I've received a letter as it relates to the tone that I have taken, and this came from the CEO of Black Hills Energy. We don't want anybody hurt. We just want them gone. They've milked this city long enough. So I'm going to vote to get rid of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Boston.
Thank you. When it comes to the Commission on Housing and Homelessness, I believe that's going to be one of the things we're going to discuss during the retreat, if I'm not mistaken, about kind of what we're going to be discussing the committee during the retreat next month. I think that's going to be something we're going to focus on, what we want the repurposing, or how we're going to reshape that commission. In the meantime, I wouldn't say necessarily stop doing work. Maybe you can't officially do anything, but sounds like prior you couldn't have a quorum to officially do anything anyway. So I would say continue working, continue gathering ideas on how to move forward, and hopefully soon we can give you more concrete ways to do that after our retreat. And when it comes to the 100% renewable goal, like I've said many times before, if we weren't doing 100% renewable in everything we did, the goal didn't make sense. So I believe we're going to work on a new goal that's something similar, worded slightly different, that is more achievable by the city. I understand some people are disappointed, but that doesn't mean that the EAC is dissolved. We just renamed the commission. They're going to have a slightly different goal, and we are still working to do good things in the community when it comes to being clean and renewable in some respect, just not 100%. So don't feel like the work you've done was completely lost. We still will be focusing on some of those goals, just in a different way.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Gomez.
Yeah, I just want to comment that I'm really concerned about all the vitriolic stuff that goes on in this chamber, and just the basic lack of respect that we seem to be losing for each other. I don't get it. I don't think there's anybody in this diocese attacking anybody out in the audience. I hope that's not, and a lot of people here don't do that as well. But when we have displays like we just saw, that borders on getting dangerous. And I'm telling you, I've been around long enough to know that. If we can't treat each other with respect, I would recommend that you don't come into chambers. Get on Zoom and do it that way. But what we're doing right now, it's really outside the boundaries of respect for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Maestri.
I just wanted to, reinforce. It seems like the comment sections from the live video and the social media comments and so forth, there's a lot of things that are said with misinformation that really never get corrected. And then they take the topics and the things that we're trying to do here in the city, and they misdirect the public. Well, a lot of times it comes from the public, so they misdirect themselves and then their fellow citizen. I think maybe during our council retreat, we should maybe see if there are some solutions that we could look at, because the spread of misinformation is running way out of control, and the decorum here in the chambers is getting out of control. There's just questions that we can't answer. It's not because we're not transparent. It's because sometimes the questions aren't making any sense. And how do you deal with something that doesn't, or respond to something that doesn't make sense, or get caught up in that conversation that's going to go nowhere because someone has a theory that doesn't make any sense. the citizens have the opportunity to vote on any of the on all of the tax increases, any of the tax increases. They have the opportunity to vote. They seem to be thinking that council is, voting for those taxes, and we're not voting for the taxes. What we're doing is we're allowing the community to exercise their rights and vote on whatever they feel they want to vote for or what they don't want to vote for or against. And so hopefully, because I get a lot of stressed out people calling about the taxes, and they don't even realize that they're the ones that have the opportunity to vote on it. The only thing, council is allowing things to go on the ballot so that they can have their choice. Everybody is upset with Black Hills Energy. Nobody's for rate increases. One of the things that I've gone through the past videos and listened to the meetings that we've been discussing, one of the things that I've been learning and educating myself further on, because it hasn't been discussed, is in the off-ramping, if we choose to off-ramp, and we choose to off-ramp, if that's what we choose to do in a vote, we lose the franchise fee, which is revenue to this city of about $4 million. So we got to be really sure that we are going to be able to municipalize, okay? Which the experts are going to tell us in the study that's coming forward. Because if not, and ultimately, the PUC has the say. So we could vote to off-ramp and municipalize, but the PUC could tell us no. So what have we done? We've given up $4 million when right now we're in search for revenue. We're in search for money so that we can further better Pueblo. And we've looked at a couple of examples that are about $13 million each generating. And we have a deficit that we got to cover first out of that first $13 million. But to give up $4 million, there's a long thought process to this. It's a very methodical process. It's not just like, we can't just be in a temper of, I hate Black Hills Energy and I hate the rates, and we need to make this decision based off of emotion. So I just say that, give it time, hear it out. The other thing too, we talk about, there's, people that come up here and they talk about wasting taxpayer monies and so forth. I mean, we've just got some core requests that are going on, which is the right of the public to know, but make sure that your core requests are targeting something that's necessary, that you're going to be able to accomplish something rather than collect a bunch of papers. Because see, in a core request, the attorneys get involved. And in the private sector, attorneys are minimum $350 an hour. So for every little core request that you have that's consuming hours and hours of our time, could be, over $1,000. And it'd be great if they amounted to something and that you were accomplishing something with your core request. But right now, they're just a deficit to our books, to our already added deficit. So that's just, even though it's your right, just make sure that every right, all people can abuse their rights. And so make sure you're just not abusing yours when you're doing that, because it's been very costly and very time-consuming to our city offices. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Flores.
Yes, before I talk about what I want to talk about tonight, I wanted to respond to a couple of questions the previous person had asked about Avres Steel. Number one, I serve on on the Petco board as a representative from City Council, along with the mayor and President Aliff. And no, Petco does not own Avra Steel, and no, Petco does not have the ability to buy Avra Steel. They just don't have $1 billion laying around where that could happen. So I just wanted to say that because the question made no sense to me. Anyway, I want to talk about immigration tonight because I got to tell you, I am very, very frustrated, almost to the point that I feel helpless of what's going on in the United States and here in Pueblo. I've been getting calls from several people out in the county that children are not attending school, that their parents are not going to work. Even the ones that have work visas are afraid that the law is going to be coming after them. It's a unusual situation that's occurring, and I'm very, very frustrated about it because I think it's more. This all started out that the administration was going to go after felons, and now we find out that that's not true. They're picking up people without probable cause. In fact, I'm hoping that I could give 1 minute of my time to allow our legal counsel to at least explain what our police department should be doing and not doing. But there are five huge sectors of business in the United States. There's ag and ranch and farms. There's the construction industry, the tourism, the food companies, and nursing and other kinds of facilities that help people that are disabled, etc. These are the jobs that these people are doing. I mean, if this administration is successful in getting all of these sectors to get rid of the immigrants that are willing to do this, you talk about inflation in a community where our food is going to be costing us a lot more if this really comes to fruition. To me, it's more of an economic issue. Migrants do not take jobs that other Americans can do it. I mean, it's been, proven that that's not the case. I live over on the south side of town, and they're building a house behind me. And I swear to God, I don't know how these, you could tell they were, whether they're legal or illegal, I don't know. But with 20 and 30-degree temperatures, they were out doing this job. And I think people in Pueblo, they don't look up. Go around Pueblo and see who's putting the roofs on our houses, who's doing the concrete, who's doing the stucco, who's doing the framing. Look up and look at it, or go out to the farms. I can't imagine even my own children, trying to pick a crop out there in the heat in the summer. The other thing that I'm concerned about is this insatiable appetite that business has for cheap labor, and this is what it really is. There are a lot of contractors, a lot of farmers. Why are they looking the other way? Why aren't they trying to get comprehensive immigration reform to do this right? But for them, at the end of the day, who's suffering? Okay, there's a lot of children. The dreamers are suffering. No end in sight for these young people that have never been in another country. But again, I'm very, very concerned about that. I'm going to be watching this very closely. For those that don't know, this town, by the year, well, right now, 60% of all the children under the age of 18 are Hispanic. And for many of us here in Pueblo, we've been in the United States since the 16th century. When I was told when I was younger to go back to where I came from, I thought, well, maybe I should consider going back to Santa Fe. I love that city. But this is the kind of issue that when you look at it on its surface, there's going to be, it's almost like a war on brown people and black people and LGBTQ, and it's very, very disturbing to me. And, you know, I have friends that I believe will be looking at this very closely, because this is certainly what the election was about. I'm not sure that people were prepared to see our country be put in a situation where, and let me tell you the one thing that just drove me over, and I'll stop there, and that is that when Biden got into office 4 years ago, he put a committee or a department in which he was trying to, there's still 1,000 children that have not been joined back with their parents. He put this committee and was successful in reuniting children with their parents. And the work was not done. There were still about 1,000 people that still had not been, 1,000 children had not been reunited. So what does this administration do? They dissolve that committee. It sounds like our committees that we're dissolving, but so to me, that is cruelty. Cruelty not wanting to put people together with their children. Why would you do that? And there's only one word, out of cruelty. And I'm really disgusted by that. And I was hoping that our deputy city attorney could address the issue about people that, how we cooperate with ICE or the DEA, and whether or not these people are entitled to probable cause. I'll stop there.
Thank you, Councilor Flores. Councilor Martinez. I think in a council commentary that this, if you want to bring up on
defer.
policy and things like that, that needs to go to a work session or some other forum, but in public commentary, or in council commentary, I don't think we bring
I've
up.
asked him for an opinion, and I'm satisfied with you just sending me an email, and I'll make that part of my commentary the next time.
Perfect. Councilor Martinez?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. President. So to answer Mr. Patrick and Mr. Jimmy's questions, as soon as the vote happened, I actually asked for a meeting between staff, President Aliff and myself, including the facilitator of the Commission on Housing and Homelessness, to talk internally about, how we move forward, what does that look like? And then I just found out that I think we're actually going to be talking about it at the retreat, which is scheduled for February. So those are kind of next steps on the commission side. I'm really excited to hear that FLIA has identified homelessness and housing as their priority for the year. So I certainly encourage a lot of work to happen through FLIA in the meantime. Similarly, last week my phone was blowing up with reports of ICE being in the community and people panicking, asking questions like, what does this mean? What are next steps? What are you guys doing about it? And there were several reports around the community. A lot were rumors, some were confirmed, but they all caused mass chaos and panic. And let me be clear, there's a difference between taking criminals who are part of the cartel and drug lords and murderers, and those that came here for a better life and who are good citizens, those people who work for us and with us and take their kids to school with us. And it helps make our community a melting pot of cultures. I'm a product of immigration, as a lot of us are. And so in my education in the last week, because local law enforcement can't arrest or detain someone based on solely their immigration status. 3, it's also illegal to impersonate an officer. So let that be managed by the Colorado Rapid Response Network, which will help keep our community safe by preventing unnecessary panic, by only confirming and sharing verified reports so that people feel safe going to get groceries and taking their kids to work. Y para la comunidad que vive con mi...
I do want to go on the record that I do not believe PEDCO is trying to start World War III. And I just want to go on the record for that and answer that question. Although I did not get to answer it in public commentary, I'll answer it now. As far as the immigration,
There we go. Yes, okay. Hi. Let's see. That's it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Well, good morning. It's 4 in the morning. And, oh, I don't want that to fall in the hot tub. Okay. Oh, it's January, the end of January, 2025. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, God. What a wonderful life. I've been trying to analyze what's going on with the city council meetings and whatnot. It'd be nice if they would actually listen to something I have to say. It's always been quite a thing. I want to go back and speak again, and I don't know if I'll get a chance. We'll see. It's going to be touchy. Hell, they called it the SWAT team. Had them there just for me. I know it. They won't say so, but that's what's going on. I looked in the guy's eyes and I know. So, if I do get to speak again, I think I will just, I'll just give a statement from the heart on the spot. I guess I know what I need to say. God knows what I need to say. I have a little faith, I guess. I want to tell them all, though, you know, I'm learning how their system works. I'm a newbie. And I don't know exactly how it works. But it appears like, it certainly appears like they don't give a shit what anybody's got to say. I'm not the only one. You watch them, watch people come for the public comments. And I'm not the only one who's frustrated with them. I'm just the one with a lot less patience. And there's a reason for that too. Something that people don't realize is I've been doing this how many years? $1995. I became involved in the union. Before then, even the MMT program. They talk about the MMT program and things like the solar farm out there, and they don't even know. I was the first MMT ever. And I was one of the ones who was, me and Dad and Carl were some of the ones who were most responsible for that program actually happening. And yes, I was the first one. I passed all the tests, and they gave me, I have a seniority list, I can show it to you, when I passed it. And they put me on the top of the seniority list for the new department. And I went all the way around everybody, from the bottom to the top in seniority. But I didn't allow them to do that. I would not allow them to do that because it was wrong. But I got the seniority list and I stopped it. I'm the one who stopped it. Give me a little credit? Oh, hell no. I was the guy on the shop floor who started the strike. And I gotta say, I had a little help then, about 5 other guys. But together we started and won the strike. Some of us more than others. Nobody more than me. Nobody. Made that strike happen. I stuck with it as long as I could. When it was time to when 911 happened, (9/11, 2001), it deeply affected me. I have not been the same since. In the last 20 some years since then, and it all started at the beginning, like I said, way back in 1995, laying the foundation for the strike. Everything that comes from what came before it, and it brings whatever comes after it. You see, I had a very loving father. Maybe he loved us too much because he was very passionate. And he was a young man when he had us. But everything that Dad did prepared me for what I would go through in the Navy. And everything that I went through in the Navy prepared me for what I'd have to go through at home in the mill. And everything that I went through prepared me and got me ready for the strike. And then for the Russians. You see, people don't even know, they ended the strike. They overrode both the local presidents, Jeannie Landreth and Ernest A. Hernandez. And they bought out their memberships. Because if you got money, you can do that, you know, and power. And that's the thing. Bosses in the mill, they have power. They can fire you, hire your kids, take care of you, or fuck you. They have power. But like I said, someone who leads outside the mill, like in the union hall, you don't have power. All you have is the respect of the men and women around you. And I became the president of that local, finally. And look what they've done to me. City Hall knows or they don't know. They pulled shit like calling SWAT the other night. And everybody knows, but nobody talks, you know. Everybody knows what's going on, but nobody will say a word. And it's always all about beating down Charlie Fetty. Whatever it takes, however many it takes, whatever. Beat Charlie Fetty. Keep Charlie Fetty from coming to power. Keep Charlie Fetty from being able to do anything, actually do anything. That seems to be the running theme all the way from elementary school to my present day. From the day I was born. They've been trying to kill me. I don't want to go into it. But I know things that people don't know about how things work. And I know there's a better way. I know. I know that the God I talk to is doing everything God can do to save mankind, to stop mankind from butchering itself. Not trying to bring it on. That's lies. More lies by people who are trying to bring it on. And people like you, Mark, making jokes about World War III. And I see what you're doing, but you didn't answer the question. The question is, are they trying to steal the steel mill and start World War III? They didn't say they want to start World War III. They want to steal the steel mill. And you will not talk about it because you're in on it. Every one of you. You don't care. You don't care if the Home of Heroes is a bunch of scallywags. You don't care. It means nothing to you as long as you get some money. I have people don't know. They have no clue what it's been like for me since you all canceled me. Since you all helped the company sue me and fire me and tried to take everything from me and pretty much succeeded. All you guys out at the mill, all you gals out at the mill, everybody out at the mill. How come you can't talk about me? How come you can't help me? Is it because of your shame? Is it? I think it is. And you know what? All of your silence, you and city council and everyone else, it makes you guilty. It shows your guilt. You're trying to silence me and trying to act like I don't exist and like it never happened. Nick, you remember? Our old mayor. Remember how you got your endorsement from the mill and from the union? How you helped them fuck me good? Remember? Heather, are you in the same bunch? They say you're Everaz's stooge. They write everything and tell you what to say and what to do. Is it true? Huh? I've given you the benefit of the doubt. I've tried. I have defended you in your position because I do understand that it is a hard job if you actually do it. If you don't sell out your people right away. I was the president that wouldn't do that. And they got rid of me. And they passed out a 20% cut in the next contract. You remember that? Do anybody remember that? Same contract, same company, same union. The Canadians got a COLA, cost of living allowance, in their contract. Good for the Canadians. Pueblo took a 20% hit to pay for it. And you wonder why they got rid of me and why they won't talk about me and why they won't allow anybody to mention my name. And the mask and the shots and the genocide and all of it. Oh, don't talk about it. Oh, conspiracy theories. While your death rate goes up and your birth rate goes down, Pueblo, because of what your leaders did to you. Jimmy! We are talking, people are dying.
being maimed. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't admit that Charlie tried to warn us the whole way through. I tried to stop the Russian purchase of the mill. I'm the only one that I know of that did try to stop it. Thieves, liars, cheaters, scallywags. That's what you've all become. That's why you don't mind taking every penny the Russians generously gave and then stealing everything else. And then giving it to the Nazis so they can kill and butcher and torture while they're doing it and terrify all the Russian civilian Christians. Remember back in 2014? I've been trying to tell you about Ukraine. That's the sad part, see? They steal everything from me, just like the Navy, just like everybody. Every idea I have, they take. But they don't take me. They don't give me any power. But when I tell them something's coming, they listen. And I told them about this war, and I told them about stealing the mill. And they took that idea, and they're doing it. That's how come I know it's happening. Just like the solar farm. I gave them that idea, and they took it. They took it from me and took it from all of us, because if I would have done it, we would have built it. We would have owned it. We would have profited from it, not British Petroleum. Do you know that they were given our solar farm? They take everything from me. They always have. You all always have. That's the way it is. From my first day to my last day on earth, it seems like this is what it is. And I will never, ever. You sit there and pat each other on the back of your things, and it is ridiculous. It is sickening how you lift each other up while you do the worst things. Pat each other on the back like you are so special and good. Oh, what have you ever... I don't know what you've done and what you haven't done. I'm nobody to judge. I'm nobody to judge. I'm just as guilty as everyone else. But something's different with me. It always has been. And it always will be. I will not lie. Thrice damned are we when we lie. Once for the sin, twice for the lie, thrice for all those we lead to die. And if you can sleep at night while you start this war that's going to mean the death and misery of billions of people, maybe including yourself and your loved ones, you think about that and where we're going to be at 5 years from now. Why won't you do the right thing, Home of Heroes? Why won't you stand up and have some honor and valor? Why are you a bunch of scallywags? What has happened to you? God has given you an opportunity, a timeless, literally a timeless opportunity. And you're worse than spitting on it. You're ignoring it. You're allowing it to go by, and you're forcing yourself to ignore it. And everyone else, except for me, I don't ignore it. I see it, I watch it, and I'm not going to let you just act like it's not happening or that you don't have anything to do with it. Making your jokes. Remember that. Remember that. When it all comes back, when it all comes back, all of this, all the way back, all these lies, whole life, all the way back to the moon landings. Ah! What a joke you are. What a joke you are. So my plan is just to have a heart-to-heart. I'm just gonna, if I get to speak again, if I do get a chance to speak again, and SWAT doesn't take me out and whatever, I'm just gonna tell them what from my heart. How can they do this? How can they sleep? Lying, cheating, stealing, murdering, starting wars that you don't fight, you cowardly fucking fucks. Scallywags, snakes. Making rules for others that you won't live by. I guess the best thing I can end this with is the best curse and the worst blessing I can ever come up with. I hope that you get what you deserve. And I know that I'm asking for it for myself by doing that. I know how the magic works. I play. I pay. But you pay too. Oh God, let God's will be done. Let's all get what we deserve. Oh God, please be kind to me. I have tried to defend you, please, God. I've tried to do your will. Please don't allow them to win over your servant. Please, God. Give your servant victory over them. I love you, God. Let your will be done. And if it means the end of me, then be the end of me. Oh God, I love you. Thank you for my wonderful life. Oh God, thank you. Oh, you're right. I'm a dangerous man, but you can't stop me with your SWAT team. Nothing can stop God. How many of you actually pray, get on your knees and pray? How many of you actually bow before God? How many of you actually go to church? Huh. I guess that's enough. How long is that? 23 minutes, okay. Well, my mom broke her wrist, so I'm gonna try and find out what I can do to help. I have other things to think about. But that doesn't mean I'm forgetting about you and what's going on, or that this is over. I'm not going to let you off the hook, and your SWAT team's not going to stop me. God, whatever's going to happen, that God has ordained, whatever God's will is going to happen. Perhaps, just perhaps, you should maybe, for once, listen to me and let me in. Let me actually do something. I know, I can hear y'all. I can hear you. So what are you doing that's so great? Huh? By doing nothing? Or by just going along? Just letting it flow? Do you know where the river flows, where we're going? World War III, World War I and World War II, pale in comparison. That's what you're bringing on. That's what you're not trying to stop. That's what your greed is making you do to yourself and to everyone else. greedy to the point of stupidity. We'll just steal the steel mail we don't have to pay. We'll take all that other money that the Russians gave too, and we'll take their yachts, and we'll take everything, and then we'll kill them all. Especially the Christians. Because we love Nazis in this country. It's all about the Nazi. But no, we can't talk about that either. You get what you were going to deserve, and it's coming. You better be repenting. You better be getting on. I know I'm doing the preacher thing, but I do it myself. So I don't ask anybody to do anything that I'm not doing myself. Oh God, please forgive us, and please God, help us to get through this. And me too, please. Thank you. All right. I was thinking maybe I wasn't clear on what the timeline was, or I got a little carried away and emotional again. I want to be clear in my experience. Going all the way back with start at the moon landings, but everything, Waco and Ruby Ridge before that, the World Trade Center bombing, the first one. Anyway, I had a C-band satellite system early on, before all the satellites were scrambled. And even after, we used to get codes and descramble them here and there, this, that, playing around anyway. I used to watch a lot of things that nobody else, saw on their TV for sure. Live news feeds from the site that were edited, at the studios and whatnot. Things like Waco and 911. When Trump talks about seeing the Palestinian dances, he did. I did too. It was broadcast on every satellite, on every channel, basically, along with the second tower getting hit. And it was said to be Palestinians dancing, but I understand that if you get that actual film and look at it closely, they're all Mossad agents with Mossad jewelry and tattoos and whatnot. It was all a bunch of part of the big PSYOP. I got played right into it. I called in to C-SPAN 911 that afternoon that we were being attacked and whatnot. And I told them what I saw. And it was what Trump saw. I reported what Trump saw before Trump reported it. I know what he saw, and he saw it. And yeah, there was the dancing Israelis too. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what was broadcast over every satellite, so everybody got a glimpse of it. Everybody who had satellite systems anyway. And then, of course, that was in the middle of the strike, which I got involved with the union early on in my employment there. I was the first MMT, male mechanical technician. I was one of the founders of the program, me and my father and my family. We have 200 years, the Fetty family has 200 years of dedicated service in the plant. I had 28 when I was the president, and they fired me. They all fired me. They all decided that I had to go because whatever they were doing, they knew I would never go along with it. So they did what they had to do. Nick, remember, happened to be running for our first mayor. My name was in the ring too. I threw my name in the hat for what it was worth. But I knew Nick was going to be, I know things, and I knew Nick was going to be the new mayor. So I went to the water department for help, for a job, and to work with Nick. What did he do? He took my story and he went to check it out. Went to the mill and to the union. He walked away with their endorsement for mayor, and he helped them. They took my gun rights. They took my unemployment. They took everything that they could. And they sued me. I won the suit for what it's worth. I won. They sued me. And that's where I came across their legal name, CF&I Steel Corporation. Not Everaz, not Oregon Steel Mills, not Rocky Mountain Steel Mills, not CF&I LP. I know things that people don't know. I was, as president of the union, I was allowed access to the books. They had to give me access to the books for the profit sharing program. I've seen what the mill makes. I've seen the numbers. I'm trying to tell you what is the best thing for Pueblo and for my people. I have been trying to tell you for decades. And all I get is put to the side and ignored. And when I do have a good idea or an idea that you think you can steal, you steal it and use it for the wrong reasons, for the wrong. Anyway, they ended the strike, as I said. They overrode both the company and the international union. All of a sudden came together, and you know why? Like forever, what it's always about, money, Russian money. The Russians filed the paperwork in 2004. That's the year that the strike had to end immediately. And they did. They paid us off. I ensured that we got something out of the deal. I did what I could do. We got the biggest cash settlement ever in U.S. history, labor history. It's a long story, but it started out at 22 million. And I'm the one who brought up the fact that, no, you can't give us stock and keep control of the stock and say that it's ours. That's not acceptable, and it's not legal. And I was right. And in the months in between, while I tried to figure out if I was right or not, it turned out I was right. The stock went up 3 times. And we got, instead of 22 million, we got 66. Or whatever it was, 65. I forget. 66 sounds better. It was 3 times. Because they didn't listen to me again. Again and again and again and again and again. I tried to stop the Russian purchase. I was only able to delay it till 2007. I made them actually come to Pueblo, though, and actually come to the Union Hall and actually treat us like we actually mattered. Much to their just disdain, to their, they hated it. They hated it. But I made them do it. Credit for Charlie? Hell no. Steal Charlie's credit. That is steal Charlie's glory. Oh yeah. Oh Mike. Oh, remember Mike. You know who I'm talking about. President Randy. Randy and Mike, my good friends. Fellow lieutenants of Armies. Generals. Remember? Remember the floats and parades? Remember the trophies? Remember? I do. Remember all of it.
Makes our people, and iron can be forged into muscle and blood.
So where are we at? Yeah, the Russians did end up purchasing the mill,
Steelworker,
despite my efforts.
soul from God.
And yes, I was trying to buy the mill. I'm in both the movies. about the mill. That's another hilarious story. A bunch of scallywag snakes.
And if we love our brothers and sisters, then we also
So I worked with the Russians. I was trained, I was raised believing that the Russians were godless, communist. I went into the military and I was trained, I participated in the Cold War. We killed the Russians. We ran over a suburb. That's kind of stretching it a little bit, but yeah, we did. War games. You really want war? You want to joke about war, Mark? All you guys out there want to joke about the strike? That was war. I have been a warrior my whole life, and I don't want to be. I don't want anybody else to ever have to be soul dyers. See, I'm the one who brings that to you, and stuff like that nobody else sees, but I see. Yeah, soul dyers. Soldiers are soul dyers, sold to die. So now we call them war fighters. Because you can't hide in the Word. God is the Word, and the Word is God. The Word, all the truth is in the words. Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi. The Jews are the Nazi, and the Nazi are the Jews. You see, once again, you're being made a fool of. And you're selling out your people. And you're joking about it. And you're ignoring the ones that are trying so hard. I'm not the only one. You see it in their faces when you watch it. They just don't have my patience. I don't have their patience. And there's a reason for that too, because I've been at this for a long, long time. Please, home of heroes, believe it or not, the fate of the world hangs on you doing the right thing. For once in your lousy lives. Please. On the timeline, the Russians paid $2.3 billion. And the biggest asset was the Pueblo steel mill. Well, included, though, Oregon steel mills. And the Canadian steel mills in Edmonton and I'm not sure what else, several steel mills. But the steel mill in Pueblo was the biggest, most central, and vertically integrated. You know, it still had a little bit of that left. We could bring that back. The Russians tried to help us. The Russians were good and kind. I worked with them. Like I said, I was trained that they were godless communists, the enemy, and we had to kill them. But they were the kindest people. And they're Christians. They're good. Better than you. Don't be a cowardly town that starts wars that you don't go fight, sending other people's children into your war. Don't make wars that you don't fight. It's a sin. It's a severe sin. Please. Anyway, 2018, 500 million more for the new rail mill. Remember that? Oh yeah, you guys got rid of me. I became president. I ran in 2012 and was defeated with questionable vote tallying. Anyway, I won't get into that, but 2015 I did win. I became the president. And before 2017, they pretty well got rid of me. It was all just, and it's a long story. I fought the long, hard game. And you all walk around with your glory and patting each other on the back. That's okay, I don't care. Take this idea too. Take it, please. Fly with it. Become the home of heroes and stop the war and save the world. And be the Steel City and buy the future for our children. Streets that are paved, lights that are on, bellies that are full. Money on the street. That's what brings business in, when they see money. It's so simple. End Pedco, use the money. Buy the steel mill, do the right thing. Please. We don't have very long. The only life, the only universe hangs in the balance. Please, hear me. Oh God. Oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta tell you, we were at the 2018 or so, the new rail mill, Russians, and the Russian money paid for all that. And as soon as they start stealing, then the lawsuits started, because the war started. See, they just dumped Russia like nobody's talking about it anymore. And so I guess you can pretend like you're not aware of the Ukraine war, but it's happening and you know it is. And you know Pueblo has played a part in it from the beginning. The settlement of the strike is what brought the Russians to Pueblo. And now Pueblo is involved in this. The home of heroes. In the backstabbing of people, good Christian people who took care of us and gave to us, taking everything they have, and then giving it to Nazi to butcher their children. What greater sin? Home of heroes. Do you know about the frozen Russian assets that were stolen? All of their property, all of their ownings, all their yachts. The oligarchs. Roman Abramovich. That's the one we should be talking to. Please. Anyway, I just want to make sure that we have the timeline up to the present where we're sitting on the fuse is lit and it's going. If we don't stop it now, all your jokes, remember those jokes. Remember how you joked and laughed. Remember how you ignored the warnings. Remember when it all comes back around on you. You get what you deserve.
Still I wait. years of years, mornings of mourning, wet billows of tears, moves are made, stages are set, people come and go, and I increase my bet. I did what I did for reasons most could not see. They heard my story, but not from me. Damned and forsaken by the people I love. Hate my music, my words, my lot. Hate my love. Decades later, most of them gone. Changes happen, the bets pay off. The course bends away from the edge. The cliff still approaches. Will it be